Fishing. It's a lot of people's favorite pastime. Sometimes encounters become amusing, and other times it's painful. Also, sometimes it becomes panic-inducing, like in this situation here with number 10. Water Stalker. Anglers face multiple dangers when out at sea. Sometimes the weather intensifies all of a sudden, and other times rogue waves appear and try to wipe them out. Oh, and also sometimes there are sharks too. That's pretty threatening. Take a look at this footage. The angler was fishing in his kayak when a large great white shark came upon him. Instead of letting the man go about his day peacefully, the curious water giant decides to stick around. This, understandably, visibly and audibly scares the man, who begins frantically paddling away. But that isn't enough to lose the shark. It gave chase. Thankfully, though, it didn't attack him. Sadly, the danger sharks pose is a two-way. Sometimes they're visible, like in the case of that angler, and sometimes they stick to their guns and hide underwater until they're ready to strike, like in this second clip. Somehow I find seeing them as more comfortable than being jump-scared by this apex predator. Well, maybe after the fish, I don't think my heart could actually take that. Fish robbery. Yeah, apparently sharks not only stalk, they also steal fish from you too. Watch as this man struggles to reel his mackerel in. He tried having his buddy pick the mackerel up as soon as it went to the side of the boat. However, the fish kept flailing around in a desperate attempt to stay alive. It worked, and that whittled the angler's patience, but he wasn't about to give up. Soon he reels it in again, and then a shark comes and seals it off the line. Yeah, just stole the man's hard work from under his nose. To be fair, probably wouldn't have been aware of the struggle that was taking place had the fish not flopped so incessantly. But there was nothing that they could do at that point. Better to give up on the catch than have themselves be the shark's catch instead. Granted, this isn't a one-time thing either. Somewhere else in the world, a man was fishing when a shark came and bit the fish off the hook. Sorry, anglers, I guess it's better luck next time. Oops. I'm not ashamed to say I spat my drink out when I first saw this video. A man was fishing in a river when he noticed something beelining towards him from the right. It was a sea snake. Guy screams in the most comical way possible as a slithering reptile hops on his boat. Thankfully, it leaves soon and it's all smiles from everyone after again. Sadly though, that's not the case for the pair in the second video. Believe it or not, the guy in white is fishing. Instead of using a rod and bait as most anglers do though, he uses his limbs. Yeah, this guy throws all caution to the wind and dunks his head and arms underwater to catch the fish while his buddy collects everything in a basket. Unfortunately, while everything was fine initially, he caught something very different in the end. Or should I say it caught him. A sea snake had bitten the guy right in the nose. His friend beats the snake and pulls it off the angler, but we're pretty sure he had to go to a hospital immediately. One can only hope he's okay. Amazon Killer. If I had to choose between coming up against a great white shark and these little biters, I'd much rather take my chances on the Jaws antagonist. They just have a fighting shot of surviving that encounter with a good old 1-2 punch to the nose. But piranhas? Ugh. Be a bag of bones in a minute or less. Granted, this man doesn't seem to believe that, so he decided to test it to see how the piranhas attack with his own eyes. Thankfully, he didn't duck any of his body into the water. Instead, he decided to be smart about it and dipped a raw chicken into the river first. In less than a minute, the chicken was nothing but bones. Heck, I don't even think there was much cartilage left on it. They're so intense that one piranha even came up the water with the chicken. At least the guy intended to feed the piranhas. This one was fishing when piranhas stole his catch. Before the big fish could even get to the side of his boat, the piranhas had already eaten most of it. Pretty sad for the guy, really. Sewer fishing. So, this is a thing. I really don't know what to think about this actually, especially given how dank sewers are. At most, if anyone were to catch anything in a sewer other than rats, cockroaches, and excrement, I'd imagine it'd be a mutant fish or a crocodile. Not, normal-looking fish. Moving on either way. This guy fishes in the sewer near his house. Does this by tying bait to what seems like sturdy thread and passing it through the small hole of the manhole. Leaves it for a while and returns later to check if anything bit the line. When he figures there is, likely depending on how weighty the thread feels, he pulls it up and goes to the side of the road to stick his hand in through the sewer drain. Soon he pulls the fish out, alive and kicking, but probably not too clean. Apparently their sewer leads towards a river, and sometimes the fish from the river swim up to the sewer. Honestly, I don't really know why, because if I were a fish, I'd probably prefer cleaner water than one with smelly feces. Then again, fish aren't that bright. An electric catch. Be careful when you're fishing. Sometimes it's your carelessness, not the dangerous prey, that will hurt you. Pretty harsh thing to say, but for some it's pretty true. Watch as this man tries to catch an electric eel with his bare hands. He's even wet from dunking himself in the water. You can just see and feel how dangerous this could get for him, right? That eel might zap him up the moment he touches it, much more grab it. But thankfully he realizes the way he's going about things isn't particularly, smart. Sadly, he did forget that what he had was an electric fishing rod. He figures grabbing a fish that can generate that much electricity is risky, but then holds a live wire. As anyone would expect, this shocks the man and he falls into the water. Not sure how well he's doing after, but I think he's alive. Hopefully, anyway. Meanwhile, this doggy didn't know what it was up against. Thought it was having a free supper, only for the eel to shock him. I can happily say the dog is still alive. A little hurt though, but hopefully a little smarter. KO. It's always a nice feeling when you see the fish you caught is a big one. Get the admiration and envy of your fellow anglers, and you get to take something home that you can feed your whole family dinner. It's plain exciting. However, don't let the excitement get to you. Till the thing is dead or safely tucked away in an icebox, it can and will fight back if it has a chance. And sometimes their skills are enough to take you out, just like this man. He and his friends were fishing at what seemed to be a pond. Eventually, they catch a massive fish. However, the shirtless guy's friend seems to have lost his grip, so he takes over and tries to bag it in a giant plastic bag so they can haul their catch home. Unfortunately, the fish fled a little too much, and its tail slapped the guy so hard across the face that he was knocked out. He even bled a lot. His friends were there to help him out at least. Pretty bad fish, though. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Fishing is fun, but it's also difficult, especially if you have to dodge for your life sometimes. This guy wasn't able to, but at least he survived. Marlin Survivor. Marlins are dangerous. Much like swordfish, these gigantic fish have spears for bills which they can use to impale and hurt people, if not outright kill them. This entry covers one such instance. Stephen Schultz and his family went on a deep-sea fishing excursion. They were hoping to catch a glimpse and maybe even catch the elusive black marlin. And, well, the marlin did show up. Hopped out of the water thrice, actually. First two times were phenomenal, and the Schultzes were able to take a good close-up look at the creature. However, the third one didn't go well. The fish impaled Stephen right at the back of his throat. Everyone thought that he had died. That thing just shot right up and attacked Stephen right in the mouth. It was a good thing, though, that it hit the boat with its body, so the impact was far lessened. Had the impact been full on and had it not bounced back into the sea, Stephen would have most likely died. Talk about lucky, though. Close call. Oh, no. Well, this would make a great story to tell the grandkids once the time comes. Having to live through this is terrifying. These two were kayaking for fun along with a group of friends when suddenly a humpback whale burst out of the water and gobbled them both up. Everyone was terrified. What had happened to their friends, aside from the obvious? Were they dead? Were they alive? Are they a modern-day Jonah? Thoughts like that likely swirled their heads. Maybe they saw it all wrong. Perhaps the kayak just flipped over. But no, they were swallowed. Thankfully, in a few seconds, the whale spits the pair out with neither one sustaining a serious injury. Dude, the Bible's intense in real life. These divers also nearly became modern-day Jonahs as well. After a school of fish frantically passed by them, whales came and poked their heads out of the water, hoping for some food to fall into their mouths. At least the whale was a little off target, otherwise these two would have been too familiar with the whale's anatomy. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Fishing ceremony. We're used to seeing only a few people while fishing. At most, it's probably a small group of anglers fishing on the dock. But that isn't the case during this festival. Dozens, if not hundreds, come and swarm the area to participate in the fishing ceremony. You read that right. In a small village called Bamba, there's a sacred pond full of catfish. However, people are not allowed to catch food there until the yearly ancient fishing ritual arrives. It's the only time they get the chance to take the fish throughout the year. This ritual is called Antogo, and Antogo usually only allows people in the water for about 15 minutes before they have to get out again. As chaotic as it seems, this is not every man for himself. It's actually every man for the village. After they catch fish, they give these to the oldest man in Bamba, who ensures proper distributions of the catch among all villagers. No wonder we can see some of the men throwing some of the fish onto land. See you all next time!